Okay, so picture this. A family, right? Living it up in California, huge mansion, looks like the perfect American family on the surface. But, underneath all that shine, there was this darkness. A really twisted story that, well, it just exploded. Violence nobody saw coming.
And today, we're going to tell that story. The story of the Mendez brothers.
Exactly. We're talking about Jose and Kitty Mendez, a wealthy couple, Calabasas, California, and their two sons, Lyle and Eric.
Yeah, to anyone looking in, they seriously had everything.
They really did. Jose, he was this powerful business figure, first at RCA Records, then he became CEO of Live Entertainment. Big deal.
And Kitty, she was a former beauty queen. Always seen as this, totally devoted mom.
Wealth, success, close family.
Yeah.
That was the image, right? But as we go through this account, we'll see the disturbing secrets that were festering there led to something just unspeakable.
And just to be clear, our focus today is really on telling the narrative. This is a story, suspenseful, pretty chilling. We're narrating what happened with the Mendez brothers.
Right. Let's start with the father, Jose Mendez. Where did he come from?
Well, he was born in Cuba back in 1944. Apparently a really gifted soccer player when he was young. His father was a champion swimmer too.
So talent ran in the family, but his life took a sharp turn.
Yeah, the Cuban Revolution in 1959, that forced him out. He was sent to the U.S. when he was only 15.
Ended up living with an aunt.
That's right. And he was a good swimmer himself. Got a scholarship for it to Southern Illinois University.
Okay, and that's where he met Kitty.
Yes, in 1962. Mary Louise Kitty Anderson, born in Chicago, 1941. She'd done beauty pageants herself, actually. A bit older than him.
And they hit it off quickly.
Seems like it. They eloped to New York in 1963, after she finished her studies. Jose was studying accounting at Queens College, working part-time to make ends meet.
And then the kids started arriving.
First son, Joseph Lyle Menendez, born July 10th, 1968, in New York.
Okay, so they started their family there.
Then they moved to New Jersey, Black River, and their second son, Eric Galen Mendez, was born there November 27, 1970.
And around this time, Jose's career started taking off, right?
Yeah.
In music.
Exactly. He shifted into the music industry. Turned out to be a really smart move, financially speaking.
His work at RCA Records in the 80s must have been quite something.
Oh yeah, rubbing shoulders with massive stars. And as the money grew, they moved again. Bigger house in New Jersey. Classen, I think it was.
And the boys went to a fancy school.
Princeton Day School, yeah. Very prestigious. And Jose, well, he had incredibly high expectations for them. Pushed them super hard.
Right.
Academics, but especially tennis.
Tennis was a big focus.
Huge. That gave another big career shift for Jose.
Into movies.
Yep, 1986. Moved the family closer to Hollywood. He took over this struggling film company, Live Entertainment.
Struggling at first, he said.
Yeah, losing money initially. But Jose, with his business sense, he turned it right around, made it really profitable.
So he was good at that.
Yeah.
CEO level success.
Absolutely. CEO, big salary, bonuses, even a $5 million life insurance policy. But his management style, not so great. Known for being really demanding, harsh, and there were affairs with female employees. It got so bad, Kitty often went with him on business trips.
Wow. Okay. And there was something else about him. His background.
Yeah, interestingly, despite all the success, reports say he was actually quite ashamed of being Cuban. Didn't like being identified as Hispanic, kept it quiet.
So, at this point, they're living this seemingly perfect life in Classen, but dreaming bigger.
Right, their ultimate dream house, this huge place in Beverly Hills, was being built.
And the brothers, Lyle and Eric, what was their relationship like?
Very close, apparently. Bonded over tennis, which they both played. Eric was actually really good, top-ranked junior player.
But Lyle,
Yeah,
it was different for him.
it seems so. More pressure from Jose, maybe? Felt inadequate compared to Eric's tennis success. And then there was the hair loss issue.
Hair loss, fine.
Started losing his hair at 14. Jose apparently made him wear a wig, threatened him to keep it a secret. That must have been tough.
Yeah, definitely. And Jose's values, wealth and success above all else.
That seems to be the message he drilled into them. And, maybe that contributed to what happened next. Their teenage rebellion.
It wasn't just typical teenage stuff, though, was it?
No, it escalated. They got involved with a gang, started shoplifting. Then it got much more serious.
A burglary?
Yeah, just Lyle and Eric stole $100,000 from someone's safe.
How did they get caught?
A friend turned them in. And Jose's reaction, it was weird.
Weird how?
Less angry about the crime itself, reports say.
Weird.
And more just. Disappointed they got caught. He paid the money back, plus extra compensation. like damage control.
So what happened to the brothers legally?
Eric was a minor, so he got off lighter, community service, therapy, with a Dr. L. Jerome Oziel.
Oziel, remember that name. And Lyle.
He was an adult, but somehow managed to avoid really serious consequences. Eric kept seeing Dr. Oziel for therapy.
And right after this, they moved into the big Beverly Hills mansion.
Yeah, shortly after. The symbol of their success, you know.
Meanwhile, Lyle goes off to college. Princeton. How did that go?
Not great. Business major, but he wasn't interested. Lots of partying. Got put on academic probation for plagiarism, actually.
Ouch.
Yeah. Ended up having to do a mandatory internship at his dad's company, Live Entertainment.
But Eric was doing better in high school.
Seemed like it. Still excelling at tennis, but also got really into acting and screenwriting, even got some recognition for drama stuff at school.
Screenwriting? Didn't he write something specific?
He did. With a friend, Craig Sigarelli, a screenplay called Friends.
And the plot.
It was about a character who murders their parents for the inheritance.
Wow. Okay. Did he show it to anyone?
Showed it to Dr. Oziel, his therapist. And apparently, Kitty, his mom, she actually approved of it, liked his writing.
But Jose didn't.
No, Jose wanted him focused on more, quote, practical things. Disapproved.
Okay, fast forward a bit. Right before the murders, there was a family trip.
A deep-sea fishing trip. And people on the boat noticed something odd.
What was that?
Just a real lack of interaction. The sons kept to themselves, parents seemed distant from each other, and the kids just cold.
And then came that Sunday, August 20th, 1989.
Yep. Maid's day off. Jose and Kitty were home. Beverly Hills mansion. Watching a movie in the den, eating ice cream. Vanilla and strawberry.
And the boys, Lyle was 21, Eric 18.
They were supposedly out.
Yeah.
So they went to the movies, planned to see Lethal Weapon 2, but it was sold out, so they saw Batman instead. Or so they said.
What really happened?
Around 10 p.m., Lyle and Eric walked into the den.
Armed.
Lyle was. Carrying a Mossberg 12-gauge shotgun.
And the parents saw them.
Jose saw them, confronted them. There was some kind of struggle.
And then...
Lyle shot Jose. Back of the head.
Oh my God, Kitty.
She screamed, tried to run. Lyle shot her in the legs. Shattered her kneecaps.
He wasn't done.
No. Shot Jose again. Made sure he was dead.
And Kitty.
He turned back to her. Shot her multiple times. Face, chest, arms, legs, torso. Just brutal.
How many times in total?
Jose was shot 6 times.
Yeah.
Massive head wound. He was only 45.
And Kitty.
She was 47. Hit more than 10 times.
So after that horror, what did the brothers do?
Got methodical. Changed their clothes, got rid of the shotgun, then went to a movie theater to build their alibi.
Then they came back.
Returned home around 11:47 p.m. Staged the scene, made it look like a break-in. Then they called the police, acting totally distraught.
What did the police find when they arrived?
A really disturbing scene. Lyle and Eric acting shocked. Eric apparently collapsed in grief. And their parents, the bodies, the gunshot wounds, the spilled ice cream, horrific.
What did the police initially think?
Because Jose was a CEO, the first thought was maybe a professional hit, mob style or business related.
And they believed the brothers' alibi at first.
Yeah, it seemed plausible initially, which meant, unfortunately, some crucial forensic evidence probably got overlooked early on.
But doubt started creeping in.
Pretty quickly. The sheer number of shots fired, that felt personal. Especially the overkill on Kitty. It suggested deep hatred, not a clean professional job.
What did the brothers do next, practically speaking?
Moved out of the house immediately, got a hotel, hired bodyguards, and started spending money. A lot of money. Their parents' money.
No way.
Almost instantly. The spending spree was, well, noticeable.
Like what?
The day before the funeral, Lyle bought 3 Rolex watches.
3? Wow. And their behavior at the funeral?
Also raised eyebrows. Witnesses said they were having really inappropriate conversations, just seemed off.
And the spending just kept going.
Oh, yeah. Lyle bought a restaurant in Princeton for, like, $550,000. Renamed it Mr. Buffalo. Bought a Porsche too, $60,000. Started his own company, Mendez Investment Enterprises.
And then Eric?
He wasn't holding back either. New Range Rover. Hired a private tennis coach for $500 an hour.
$500 an hour?
Yep. Made plans for a penthouse. Ended up renting a condo just for parties. And he started gambling heavily.
Did he go to college like planned? UCLA?
No, decided against it. Said he wanted to be a pro tennis player instead.
So 6 months pass. No arrests. Police must be getting suspicious.
Very suspicious. The brothers weren't pushing the investigation at all. Seemed uninterested in finding the killer. Plus, the spending was insane. $700,000 gone already.
And they stood to inherit millions, right?
Around $19 million, yeah. Life insurance, the estate. It was a huge motive staring them in the face.
Then came a breakthrough.
A big one. Credit card receipts surfaced. Showed Lyle and Eric had bought shotguns just 2 days before the murders.
That sealed it for the police, suspicion-wise.
Pretty much. So they focused on Eric's friend, Craig Signorelli, the one who co-wrote that screenplay, Friends.
The one about killing parents for money?
That's the one. Police asked Signorelli to talk to Eric, try to get information.
Did it work?
Eric actually confessed to Signorelli, told him he and Lyle did it, talked about planning it.
Did Signorelli record it?
No, not that first time, unfortunately. But he did report it to the police later.
Did they try again?
Yeah, police tried to get Signorelli to wear a wire, but Eric got suspicious, clammed up.
So, another angle.
Investigators found out the family had seen a therapist.
Dr. Oziel.
Not just him initially. Another therapist reported that Kitty had actually expressed concerns way earlier. Said she thought her sons might have sociopathic tendencies.
Wow. But then, the big break with Dr. Oziel.
Yes. Eric confessed everything to Dr. Oziel during therapy. Said he and Lyle killed their parents.
How did Lyle react to finding that out?
Not well. Extremely angry. Reportedly made threats against Dr. Oziel.
And Oziel.
He'd been secretly recording his sessions with the brothers.
Secretly recording them, is that allowed?
That became a huge legal issue later. But yeah, he had tapes.
How did the police find out about the tapes?
Dr. Oziel had a mistress, Judalon Smith. She learned about the confessions and the tapes, and she went to the police.
So she blew the whistle.
Basically, yes. Based on her information, police got a warrant, seized the tapes from a bank safe deposit box.
And the tapes confirmed it.
Detailed confessions. It was the smoking gun. Seemed undeniable.
Arrests followed quickly, though.
Lyle was arrested March 8, 1990, just while he was out driving.
And Eric, he was out of the country.
Yeah, tennis tournament in Israel. His lawyer told him not to come back, but he ignored the advice, flew back to L.A., and was arrested at the airport on March 11th.
So both brothers arrested? What were the charges?
2 counts each of first-degree murder, with premeditation.
How did they seem in court initially?
Surprisingly calm, almost unconcerned, pled not guilty, hired defense lawyers.
What about those tapes? The defense must have fought hard against them.
Oh, absolutely. Argued doctor-patient confidentiality. Said the tapes couldn't be used.
But the prosecution had an argument.
Lyle's threats against Dr. Oziel. They argued that them negated the confidentiality privilege.
And the court decided.
Ruled that 2 of the tapes were admissible. A major blow to the defense.
So the defense strategy had to change.
Dramatically. July 1993, they switched tactics completely. Admitted the killings.
Admitted it, but claimed.
Self-defense.
Right.
Alleged years and years of terrible abuse.
Yeah.
Emotional, physical, and sexual by their father, Jose. And they claimed Kitty knew about it, enabled it, or even participated sometimes.
That changed everything, the whole narrative.
Totally. Suddenly the public was divided. Were they victims pushed too far? Or just cold-blooded killers trying to get away with it using an abuse defense?
And Signorelli, the co-writer, spoke out.
Yeah, talked publicly about the Friends screenplay. Suggested maybe Lyle used the plot Eric came up with to plan the actual murders.
What did the family think? Their grandmother.
Maria Mendez, Jose's mother. Reports say she just refused to believe her grandsons could be guilty.
And the brothers' demeanor in court changed then.
Yes, they started looking much more worried, anxious. There were reports they were being extorted, even physically harmed, by other inmates in jail.
And they got a new lawyer.
Leslie Abramson, a very well-known, very aggressive defense attorney, known for taking on tough cases and using, let's say, creative strategies.
So Abramson pushed the abuse defense hard.
Extremely hard. Painted this picture of the perfect family hiding this absolute horror show. Jose is a controlling, abusive perfectionist. Kitty is an alcoholic, drug user, neglectful, and abusive herself.
What kind of abuse did they allege against Kitty?
Really disturbing stuff. Killing Lyle's pet rabbit, humiliating him for bedwetting, constant verbal abuse, threats of poison, even inappropriate sexual requests. Just awful allegations.
And the self-defense angle was based on?
The claim that Lyle tried to confront Jose about the abuse, and Jose threatened to kill them both if they ever told anyone. Abramson argued they genuinely feared for their lives.
Was there any corroboration for the abuse claims?
Eric's girlfriend at the time testified, backing up some of the abuse stories. And Signorelli confirmed Eric had told him about abuse earlier too.
But the prosecution didn't just sit back. They had something else.
Yeah, they brought in this movie, Rich Men, Single Women,
What was the connection?
It was loosely based on a book called Boys, came out just weeks before the murders. And the plot: wealthy Beverly Hills sons kill their parents for money. One character wears a Rolex, drives a cheap Wrangler, similar to Lyle.
And the kicker.
The movie was released by Jose's company, Live Entertainment. Prosecution suggested maybe that was the inspiration, not just the friend's screenplay.
So the first trial, how did that end?
It was long, 4 months, ended in a hung jury. January 94. Couldn't reach a unanimous verdict. Reports said the male and female jurors had very different views.
So they had to do it all over again, second trial.
Yes.
Yeah.
That one ended differently. October 1995. Guilty verdict this time.
Guilty of what?
Both Lyle and Eric. 2 counts each of first-degree murder with premeditation.
That's sentence.
Life in prison, without any possibility of parole.
No death penalty.
No, likely because they didn't have prior criminal records. But they were sent to separate prisons.
When did they last see each other before being separated?
December 10th, 1996. That was their final parting for a long time.
Did they appeal?
Yes, multiple times, but all appeals were unsuccessful.
What about their lives inside?
Both got married while incarcerated.
Yeah.
Lyle married Anna Erickson in 96, but they divorced in 2001, and apparently he was unfaithful. He remarried Rebecca Sneed in 2003.
And Eric.
Married Tammy Sackerman in 1999. She's actually been quite public, given interviews, even co-wrote a book about their relationship.
Did the brothers stay in touch over the years?
They did, through letters and through their wives acting as intermediaries.
And then, relatively recently, they were reunited.
Yes, February 2018. After 22 years apart, they were finally transferred to the same prison facility.
So the case still raises so many questions.
Absolutely. Victims of horrific abuse pushed to the edge. Or calculated killers motivated by greed. The abuse allegations are deeply disturbing, impossible to ignore. But then again, the counter-argument is always there. Murder is never the answer. It's something for everyone to think about.
Yeah, definitely. And we should say, the information and images we talked about, they're from various internet sources. We've tried to be accurate, but apologies if there are any mistakes. If you listening know more, feel free to share.
And if you're new here to Horror Docs and found this story compelling, please do give us a like, share it, and subscribe for more narrations like this.
Thank you for tuning in to this really unsettling account. We hope telling this story makes you think about all the different angles, the complexities.
It's definitely a chilling reminder, isn't it? That what you see on the surface, that perfect facade, sometimes hides some truly dark realities.
We hope you'll keep exploring these complex true crime stories with us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Horror Docs.
And maybe just leave you with this thought. Sometimes the deepest, most damaging secrets aren't with strangers, but right there, inside the family itself.